This is not the typical video that you've ever seen me do before, and for good reason. You see, it was never my plan to live off grid. In fact, if you'd asked me a few years ago, I wouldn't even have considered it. But this isn't a story about self sufficiency, it's about surrender. Because I'm here for one reason: God led me here. What if the life you imagine for yourself wasn't the life God had in mind? And that's exactly what happened to me. So, welcome to Almost Off Grid Grandma. I'm Krista, and today I'll be answering 3 thoughtful questions from Hippie Chick Off Grid Maine. A big thank you to her for wanting to hear my thoughts and giving me the opportunity to share them with you all. The first question: what is the most difficult thing about living off grid? You might think that my biggest challenge would be overcoming my physical limitations that I have. And while that is a daily struggle, it's not the hardest part. The real challenge has been fully trusting God every single day. You've probably heard that phrase, put your trust in God. But what does that really truly mean? To me, it means there is no safety net, just Him. That can be both terrifying and beautiful. Learning to surrender my own plans and leaning completely on God's provision has been the hardest, yet most rewarding part of this journey so far. I learned this lesson really early on before I started even building my tiny home. One day I slipped on a piece of wood and twisted my ankle really badly. I thought it was just a really bad sprain. But the pain was really intense, and I remember saying, Lord, if you want me to do this, I need my ankle to heal, or I just can't do it. And within a week, that pain was gone. The swelling had disappeared. It was as if nothing had happened at all. But here's the real incredible part of that story. 6 months later, I had an x-ray for my orthopedic surgeon done, and he found out that my ankle had actually been broken, completely broken. Yet I had walked on it. I built my home on it. I never felt a thing. That was one of the first moments where I knew without a doubt that God wasn't just allowing me to live this life, He was actually making a way for it. Question 2. What is the most rewarding thing about living off grid? It's not just about the peace and quiet. It's not just about the independence. The most rewarding part is learning to rely on God alone. Away from the noise and distractions of the world, I hear Him more clearly than ever. It's a deep, unshakable peace, the kind you can't buy or create for yourself, but only receive from Him. Every single day, I'm reminded that He is enough. That's the greatest blessing of all. But relying on God doesn't mean sitting back and waiting. It means stepping out in faith. I saw this firsthand when I was building my tiny home. I had the frame and the roof trusses up, and I needed help with the bigger jobs. So on a Monday, I reached out to a friend from church to see if he knew of a couple volunteers that might be able to come help me, willing to help me. By Thursday, he had found a couple of people, and by Thanksgiving weekend, 14 people showed up. On a holiday weekend, when they could have been with their families celebrating the long weekend, they chose to come and help me get my home weathered in before the snow arrived. I remember standing there watching them work and feeling overwhelmed with gratitude. It was another reminder that God provides. He brings the right people at the right time. When we step forward in faith, He meets us there. And the third question: how hard was it to adjust from on grid, to off grid? The adjustment was both challenging and natural. Physically, it was tough. I had to learn entirely new skills, like how to build a tiny home from the ground up and create a self-sufficient lifestyle unlike anything I had known before. But spiritually, I was already prepared. I knew God had led me here, and where he leads, he provides. The hardest part wasn't learning how to live off grid, it was learning to embrace the unknown with faith. When you've spent a lifetime struggling to trust, stepping into uncertainty can feel very overwhelming. But with God's guidance, I've learned that faith is enough. I didn't choose this life, God did. And every day he shows me why. Living off grid isn't just about surviving, it's about thriving in a peace of knowing I'm exactly where he wants me to be. I'm here because he led me here, and I'm grateful for every moment that I get to learn why. I was hesitant in answering these questions from Hippie Chick Off Grid Maine because I've been told and warned not to talk about certain subjects like God on a social media platform, and that it could possibly get my channel blacklisted, for lack of a better word, and my growth may come to a standstill, or I may lose a bunch of subscribers. Okay, well, that might happen, but I couldn't answer these questions without speaking my truth. And honestly, if God's not in this channel, then neither am I. I don't expect everyone to have the same truth as me. And the way I look at this channel is this. If God wants me to succeed, then he alone will bring the increase. And I thank you again, Hippie Chick, for asking me to answer these questions and giving me the opportunity to speak my truth, which has allowed me to bring glory and honor to the one deserving, which is God. If you have ever found yourself in an unexpected path, one you never would have chosen, but one you knew God was leading you toward, I'd love to hear your story. Share it in the comments below or send me an email at almostoffgridgrandma@gmail.com, and let's continue the journey of faith together. Thank you for spending time with me, and God willing, I will see you next time. Bye for now.